Good morning, everybody. It is morning. It's early. That's why I got my coffee here with me today. I'm like, my God, I don't have a whole lot of time, but I got enough time for you. Man, that's hot. This thing works too damn good, man. It's supposed to keep the coffee hot. Oh, it's doing its job. I promise you that. It's doing its job. Oh, my God. Damn, that's hot. It's good, but it's hot. Speaking of hot, we're going to factor. Yeah, you like what I did there? Yeah. So if you're in my classes, we're going to be doing level 3 today. But a lot of teachers would call level 3 factoring when a is equal to 1, if standard form is your thing. So like they'll always have the x squared with a 1 in front today, okay? So let's get after it. Oh my gosh, okay. Let's look at, so here's how we're gonna start, and I'll keep doing 2 methods, area method and reverse distributive method. Let's rock and roll. Where's my purple at? All right. So area method, remember factoring is the creation of multiplication. So the area method says this is the area, and then what are the dimensions gonna be? So we'll build our area map. All right, I know you like that. That's good stuff. That's money. And then what we'll do is we'll put the first term, x squared, and the 12. Now the middle term is kind of the fanciest term, right? Because this is gonna be the addition of these two. So when this was a square, like levels 1 and 2 are squares, this is square. These two are the same, but this is now a rectangle. Because if you look at a level 3, and I should have probably started here, one of the things you notice is that 12 is not a perfect square. And so we're not going to be able to model it using the symmetry of a square. We're going to have to use a rectangle, which means the dimensions aren't necessarily the same. And so I really don't know what these boxes are right now. I just know what they add up to. For sure, they're going to add up to 7x. So that I need to know, okay? Holler. And the strategy is going to be this when you're factoring. You want to set it up to where you get the first term, set it to where you knock out that third term, and then add up and check to see if the middle's correct. If it is, cash money, you done. If it's not, try some different values. Try some different values. Mr. Miller, is this just guess and check? Well, maybe. Well, maybe. But it's like an intelligent guess and check, because you ain't just guessing 2 random old numbers, right? You're guessing specific values, and you're going to get better. Like for me, I normally get it in the first or second attempt at this point, and so that's where we'll all get. So let's go ahead and do this. Okay, so here we go. We got x times x. Now to get to the 12, could do 4 times 3, 6 times 2, 12 times 1. Lots of options. Okay, so here we go. 12 is going to be a challenging one. We've got things that we could try, but I'm going to do 4 and 3 to start. And you know, this is going to provide us with the correct answer, thankfully. All right, so this area is a dimension x by 4, so that's 4x. Similar. Oh, look at me. See, I'm still in like level 1 squareness. Come on, Mr. Miller, get your head in the game. Get your head in the game. I made a mistake. Ain't being human wonderful? Man, it feels good to be human and make these mistakes. So you can see that's already going to add up to 7x. So you could write it here if you want to, but there you go. And so what we've learned is that x squared plus 7x plus 2 is actually equal to x plus 3, x plus 4. There it is. Very, very, very nice. Remember, factoring is the creation of multiplication. And so we've changed the form. These are equal. That's an equal sign. This is exactly the same as that in quantitative value, but it's a different form. It's called factored form. All right, let's go with the reverse distribute method. Let me show you what that method's all about. I'm going to do the same problem. So we'll act like we didn't just see the answer. Now in advanced, like really advanced math, one of the things that you do is sometimes you predict the form of the answer, and then you make the form kind of conform to the problem. So we're going to kind of do that. I'm just going to predict the answer is going to look like this. Okay, so that's my prediction because I'm factoring. And now what I want to do is we want to set up to make sure that we know this multiplication's got to get us the x squared. So let's make that work. Let's make these two get us to 12. And now what I would recommend is you check. So I'm going to show it, even though I'm confident, I'm just going to remind you that there's the x squared and there's the 12. Okay, so we knew that was good. Let's make sure that it adds to that middle term. So remember, this is a double distribute. This is called the FOIL method of multiplying, but I call it the double distribute because each term gets distributed twice. So that becomes 3x, and that becomes 4x, and we can see cash money. So the reason I like this factoring method is because it actually, the better you are at multiplying, the better you're going to be at factoring. Remember, to go from here to here is factoring, and to go from there to there is multiplying. Let's try one more. All right, so here we go. Second example, I'm going to do this method first. So let's go. N squared minus 9n plus 8. And we're just going to say that that equals right there. Holla my man. All right, so now we know this is a level 3 because 8's not a perfect square. So we're not going to be able to model this with a square. So it's going to have to be a rectangle, which is not a more difficult problem. It just might take longer because we have more options. You know, when it was a perfect square and it was 9, it was 3 times 3. But now we've got, 4 times 2, possibly, because it's a rectangle. Could be 1 times 8. We're not totally sure. But the other thing I think we should also realize is that that's a minus sign. And so when we talk about how to get to 8, you could do 1 times 8, but you could also do negative 1 times negative 8. Also gets you to a positive. And so look at that with me, right? Because we know that this middle term is the result of an addition. The fact that we're adding to a negative means this is going to be my first guess, that they're both minuses. Well, we'll see what happens. So I'm going to go n and n. We're cool, so I got my n squared. I'm going to set it up to where I know I get 8, so I'm going to go negative 1 and negative 8. All right, I think I might have the answer, but let's just check. So we're here, and let's go make sure it adds to what we want. That's our negative 8n, negative 1 times n, and we can see that does add to what we want. That means we're done. If we think about this here, you would say, okay, so that equals, now plus a negative, normally just turn that into subtraction. Oh, so it should be a minus there. And you grab the green marker. Oh, it's in my pocket. I thought for a second I didn't have it. And we are done. And so it's boom. This is the middle term. Boom, boom. Negative 8, negative 1, gangster. Move on. Had we picked the wrong answer, like had we picked this, right, negative 4 and 2, we would have gotten rid of it because I would have said negative 2 plus negative 4 is negative 6, not negative 9. So we would have gotten rid of those. Okay, so reverse distribute method. Let's take a look at our area method. I think you're going to be cash, especially if you can know both methods. I think that's ultimately more to your advantage. But if we're going to look at this from the area method, we'll do first build our rectangle. Remember, it's not a square this time, it's a rectangle. And what we have is, here's my purple, you put the first term here. There's our 8. Our middle terms are going to add to minus 9. So again, we don't know right now what goes in those boxes. We just know what it has to be when we add them. All right, so that's going to have to be minus 9n. And let's see what we can do. All right, so let's first run. Let's just make sure that that corner is cache. Let's make sure whatever dimensions we pick that they get us to -8. Okay, so let's try the answer we know that's going to work. All right, so we're feeling good about these two terms. Let's make sure the middle term is there. -1, -8n. You can see that those add up to -9. And so our answer is the dimensions of the rectangle, which is n-1, n-8. Very, very good, everybody. Okay, oh my God. I'll tell you what. And so really what we're thinking about when we talk about the area is that at the end of the day, we have a rectangle whose area is n squared minus 9n plus 8, and whose dimensions are n-1, n-8. And it's interesting, if you add it, if you use a number, like say the number 2, let's just say n is 2. If n is 2, 2 minus 1 is 1. If n is 2, well, I don't want negatives, so let's make n is 9. If n is 9, this is 8, and that's 1. So the area should be 8 if n is 9. If n is 9, that's 81 minus 81 plus 8. 8. So there it is. So it works. All right. Whew, I had to loosen my tie. Oh my gosh, people. That's level 3. Remember, angels fly because they take themselves lightly. And whatever music you listen to, turn it on, put it in those headphones, and keep studying, okay? All right, then, let's go.